that we are going to record. And so I'd like to welcome everyone. This is actually for survivingbreastcancer.org, our first lunch and learn info session. We've actually never done that for any of our programs. And so
Oh,
consider yourselves inaugural. This is so exciting for us. So for
oh,
those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura Carfang. I am the executive director and founder of survivingbreastcancer.org. I'm kind of like the face along with some of these other faces that are behind the scenes making the magic happen. And I am so excited because we have been able to partner with Gloria Shun, who's actually based out of Canada, and partner with her. And I'll give a moment for Gloria to introduce herself and her phenomenal background. But we've been able to partner with her over the last year and really offer some incredible programming to those in our survivingbreastcancer.org community. And so what started off as, some of our meditation Mondays really turned into how can we help support those who have been newly diagnosed with breast cancer to feel encouraged and empowered. And so this is the birth of how we came about Encourage and Empower. We ran a program in the fall of 2022. We ran another cohort for an 8-week program in January, February, early this year in 2023. And we're getting ready to launch our third cohort, which I am so excited about. So there are a couple topics and Q&As that I want to get to, of course, and this is really meant to just be like a quick 30-minute recap of what the program is, meeting Gloria, and then we have Brenda and Carol on the line, who were actually part of the first cohort in fall of 2022. And so I want to give them an opportunity to share their experience with the program, how they're doing now, and really how they're taking this momentum forward even after the 8-week program completed. So that's a little bit about my agenda for today. I also want to open it up for questions and Q&A by Jill and Luis. But let me just start with some quick introductions. So Gloria, can I turn things over to you quickly just for a brief intro?
for sure. So it's truly an honor and a privilege, and I love lunch and learns. It's something that I've done throughout my corporate career, so nothing new there. And what can I say? It's truly, co-creating things to help each other, because I think once we get to the understanding that we're all one, whatever happens to one happens to all, and none of us can manage life without some encouragement. And through encouragement and through our own journeys, we then feel so empowered that we co create other initiatives that can really support a bigger audience. So it's truly a privilege and an honor to be here.
Oh, well, the privilege is ours at SBC. Thank you, Gloria. And I'll moderate and get into some nitty-gritty of some of the questions as well. But just again, brief intros. Brenda, you're in my next corner over here if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Brenda Coronado. I was diagnosed last year, and I also I'm a co-founder for the Después de un Diagnóstico. So it's a program that we have in SBC for the Hispanic community.
Super, thank you. Carol, you're in my next corner.
Get myself unmuted. Yes, I was diagnosed in 2021, December of 2021, and I am just hoping to be able to continue to grow with SBC. Encourage and Empower was my first kind of introduction to everything that we offer here, and I was just blown away with the amount of support that I received, not only from Gloria, but Brenda as well. So it's been amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. And to breast cancer survivors and thrivers as well. And Gloria herself has gone through a breast cancer diagnosis. So I think it's important that these are, to use Gloria's terms, co-creation, right? It's for those of us diagnosed with breast cancer by those of us diagnosed with breast cancer, which I think gives that, extra expertise because we've been there, we've gone through it, we understand. So one thing that first came to mind was when we talk about the newly diagnosed, what does that mean? We had to come to terms with who are we actually trying to serve through this Encourage and Empower program. And so we ended up having to put together some parameters. So what we just decided was it's within your first 1 year of your diagnosis. And so I preface this because and Gloria on the call knows this, we're going to be going on and doing many more programs for other people on their journey throughout a breast cancer diagnosis, whether you're, 1 to 5 years out, if you're living with metastatic disease, if you're 10 years out and you're still grappling with all of the trauma that has happened. There is a need for support at every step. However, at SBC, we have decided to start with just this 1 year, right? So if you're within 1 year of your diagnosis, this program is for you because you're going to meet other people who have gone through similar things and are in that phase of their breast cancer journey, who get it, who are going with you, who are either overwhelmed and shocked and needing to learn a whole new vocabulary. You're going to be meeting people who are needing to make decisions around surgery options, different types of reconstruction choices. And so the idea isn't to give yourselves answers to these, but to match you with this cohort experience of people who are going through similar lived experiences, right? And so I just wanted to get that definition out of the way. So this program, Gloria, again, is really designed, as you were mentioning, for that person in that first year. So Gloria, can I ask you then, so we decided that this program was going to be an 8-week sequential program that builds upon week after week. So we are looking for that level of commitment from the participants. Can you talk to me a little bit more about the 8-week program and why that commitment is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, and thanks for putting it so wonderful in terms of the ongoing programs, because healing is something that is continuous, and it's not an end to any one of our experiences. I think the 8 weeks provides us with 3 things. One is, the individual who is choosing to commit to their well-being. So it shows a commitment on each and every person participating in the program, their own personal commitment to their well-being. Second is, it gives us an opportunity to really build community. And as we know, every single individual has gifts and experiences that can help another. It may be just one word. It may be a thought process. It may be an experience. And third, it's really providing a platform where someone can say, this is a tiny habit that I want to pursue, and how do I build on it? And to your point, Laura, the reason we chose within 1 year, because that's the year within which most of us are so overwhelmed. And we have to then look at reality and ask ourselves, what can we do within this period of overwhelm that would allow us to build on tiny habits that we can then retrain our bodies, our minds, our spirits, so that we understand that we can be the best possible being of ourselves in every single moment. And so I think it speaks for itself when you look at those 3 factors.
Fantastic. Super. Thank you for that. And so, to build upon that as well, I think it's important for people who are considering the Encourage and Empower program to know that we ask for those to RSVP and to also, to the best of your ability, commit to those 8 weeks. Obviously, if things come up and it's only 7 weeks, there's leniency, but it's really to commit to those 8 weeks for the community aspects that Gloria just described. But also, we intentionally keep our registration small. We average at max would be 12 people. I think the sweet spot is 8. Sometimes we have to accept 10 because we know there's going to be some attrition as well. But I share this with you because it's one of those high impact and high touch programs that we offer at survivingbreastcancer.org. And that is intentional, that we are not looking to create, for 50 people and you really lose that sense of the personal touch and everything. So I just wanted to share that. To build upon the sequence and why we're doing this info session is that we do intentionally keep the program small, which is also why, because there was demand, that we're offering this 3rd section. So, at first it was just going to be fall and spring, and now we have this late spring edition coming up because of the interest. So sharing that in terms of just some of the logistics. Brenda, I want to turn things over to you. What attracted you to the Encourage and Empower program?
I was diagnosed last year, and I was in a I needed support, and I needed to a new way to understand me. I was when I started the program, I was about to start chemotherapy. So the support that Gloria and Carol offered me, it was very complementary to being in all those treatments and how I felt. And they were like kind of my support, and in every step, all the way to radiation. When the program ended, we were like, now we're like together forever. So we wanted it to, we got so close that we wanted it to keep in touch, and we created, at the time it was like a 1 month, and now we're doing every other week. And we have our chat group where we keep each other in the steps that we're going through. So
Yeah.
that was my main part.
Thank you for sharing that. And so it's really what happens after those 8 weeks as well. I think of this sometimes when you're early stage and your doctor says, come back in 3 months or come back in 6 months. And you're like, oh, like, who's watching over me? What's happening? Right. And so
Yes.
you have this community there with you afterwards. Carol, let me turn things over to you. Same question. What attracted you to the Encourage and Empower program?
I definitely was very overwhelmed with the amount of information that you can find on the internet around breast cancer. I did not know anyone that was diagnosed before me that I could speak with. It's not a family history or anything. So really was just looking for information and came across survivingbreastcancer.org. And I immediately was like, this looks like a great program, just a way to be able to connect with other and people who are going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, and ask the questions and have a safe space and have that moment where when you weren't in a doctor's appointment, but you still had a question, you had a great place to be able to go and ask that question. All of our stories may be different and all of the treatments might be just a tad different, but the story or the life itself is the same. And so being able to have that connection with other people who have the same emotions and the same questions is great. And just being able to ask those questions, you know, we're in appointments and out of appointments. You'd be amazed at how much everything changed within a week. We would come back to each other every week and we would have, you know, just so much to talk about because we were in the middle of treatments or in the middle of different things that were happening. And so being able to give advice, take advice, all of that was just amazing.
Amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you found some resources and encouraging empowerment through that program. So Gloria and I have been working together for over a year now. We actually had an opportunity to meet in person at one of the survivingbreastcancer.org retreats that we hosted. I'm just, you know, impressed with everything that you bring to the table, Gloria. And intentionally, I wanted to share that we've scheduled the Encourage and Empower program to fall shortly after our meditations that you lead for us on a Monday. So, you know, I think one of the ideas is we have this program, but there's other resources outside of just this 8-week program that can help support you throughout your journey as well. So I think, and correct, hold me truthful here, Gloria, what did we sign up for? So I think it's on Mondays, from starting at 10 a.m., you're going to be doing meditation?
That's correct. So weekly meditation is at 10 a.m., approximately, 20 to 30 minutes, if so much, and then a break, followed by Encourage and Empower, the third session commencing whenever we choose to start that, which I think is going to be next month.
Yes, exactly. So that will be on Mondays, then starting at 11 a.m. So that way for folks, again, not required, but if you wanted to take advantage of that meditation before jumping into Encourage and Empower, we strategically put them back to back so you could take advantage of that. But the Encourage and Empower will be on Monday starting from 11 Eastern time to 12 noon. Your sessions run about 1 hour. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Excellent. And what can someone expect during that 1 hour? Gloria?
I would say really establishing, first off, I would say a sacred space. So that's the first thing. Second is trust, because, when we talk about ourselves, it has to not only be a space that we feel we can share our stories and let our voices be heard, because we're sharing things that are very, very intimate, and very personal. So a sacred space based on trust, based on mutual respect, based on the confidence of knowing that this is not shared outside of that circle, so that you can feel very comfortable sharing all the good as well as all the maybe perceived not so good, you know. So it's really building community, establishing some set of tiny habits that you choose, each individual chooses to bring into their realm of daily transformation that they want to look at, explore, and making the commitment to themselves and to their own well-being. And I think if I can end with the fact that in helping each other, we are always helping ourselves in the process. So I think it's in giving that we receive. And so it's truly a privilege and an honor to be able to facilitate this program and see the wonderful outcomes and the great work that folks like Brenda and Carol continue to do for the wider community. I mean, it just touches my heart in a way that is totally in sync with life.
Yeah, beautiful. We're changing things up, Carol. I'm going to start with you this time. One more round of questions, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A from our attendees as well. So, Carol, we talked a little bit about what attracted you initially to the program. Now that you've completed the 8-week program, I would say, did anything surprise you during the 8 weeks? What should participants know about any of the transformation that has expired, or even reflecting now that happened for you actually in the fall and some months have already passed, what impact that has had on you? So those were like 3 questions jam-packed into one, but basically like the key takeaways that you want to share with anybody now that you've gone through the program.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me is definitely how comfortable I felt with sharing all of my information or asking the questions. Like Gloria said, it's so intimate. These are, this is your body, and these are things you're not used to dealing with, and you're not used to talking about your body and the way that your body changes so much. But being able to have that truthful conversation with somebody that's not a medical doctor, that, you have to say these things to, and being able to, like even cry in the moment and not feel like you were taking away from something, like you were really giving at that moment, because it's okay to have that emotion, and it's okay to feel that disconnect sometimes to your body at that point. So being able to, trust that. Gloria just taught us, breathing techniques and being able to be in the moment and not be so bogged down with all of the what ifs and what could happen. And there's so much information that's kind of thrown at you in the very beginning, and you're trying to just find your place in all of that. And so being able to have that 1 hour every week where I knew it was more about me than it was about my cancer.
Right, doing something for yourself.
Yes, it just made a huge difference. And then just the connection with Gloria and Brenda, and knowing that even if it was a Thursday night and I was struggling with something, we had our WhatsApp group and we could text each other, and we were able to just help each other through those moments. What it's done for me is I don't have a lot of resources in my area. And so I have started a support group locally in my area, and I've been able to connect with other cancer survivors and fellow, breast cancer survivors that have either gone through this or are currently diagnosed and going through, and just being able to be kind of a voice and, help others through this, where I thought I was alone a year and a half ago. I had no idea that there were so many other women out there that were going through the same thing. So now I feel empowered to go out and share my story, and not just hold it in and say, well, I'm not going to tell anybody. Now everybody knows that I'm a breast cancer survivor. There is no one out there that I don't meet, so that's
Yes.
how it's helped me.
Well, and so much so that you reached out to us to see how you can get more involved. And I'm thrilled that you have it even in your signature here, that you're part of our survivingbreastcancer.org early stage leadership team. So thank you for, volunteering and giving back and really helping pave the way forward for those who have been diagnosed.
Thank you.
To Brenda, same question. So over the 8 weeks, was there anything that surprised you or things that you would want a participant to know before joining the program?
The program is very the best part for me was starting the conversation with a center ourselves and trying to get into like, okay, this is our moment, let's just breathe on it. It was like really, really good. And now, as Carol mentioned, like we normally don't talk about it, or we spoke with a doctor, but they don't understand the feeling that we have. So connecting with them, it was like the best part of my day or the week. So it was mainly that. And it also, as a Hispanic, when I tried to find groups with my same language, I couldn't. So when I joined Empower, and it was just getting a deeper connection with someone, even if it's not in my language. And that's why I wanted it to start creating the Hispanic side of the survivingbreastcancer.org.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. So I want to let people know, just because you do encourage and empower doesn't mean we're going to recruit you for survivingbreastcancer.org. But what happens is that even with Brenda, who was so transformed by these programs, was like, we need to do this now in Spanish for the Latina population as well. And so I think these are just amazing transformational stories. And, I'm so fortunate that our paths crossed with Gloria and that we're able to offer this to the community at large. And because it's virtual and online, I think that allows us to break down barriers versus, we can go into rural places as long as you have an internet connection and can connect in these formats as well. So technology has really enabled us to reach a broader piece. So in our last 5 minutes, I want to thank our panelists, Brenda, Carol, and Gloria, and then open it up to anyone who's on the call. If you have any questions for any of us here today, or things that we haven't covered.
I'm not sure. I'm very new at this. I've just known in the last 6 weeks. So I only had my surgery on the 10th. So I heard about you from a neighbor who's been through it. And that's how she encouraged me to join in.
Well, I'm glad you found us. I'm sorry we have to meet under these circumstances, right? I think we say all the time, it's the worst club to be part of with the best people in it. So, but we have an army of women and some men here to support you. So Jill, thanks for joining today.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, well, how does it proceed from today? Do I understand it correctly that there'll be a meeting on Monday at 11? Is that correct?
So, great question. So what next? I didn't plant you.
Yeah, I don't know what treatment I'm having or anything.
Yes.
So
No, great question.
Very
So
newbie.
absolutely. So Elisa on the call she wears many hats in our organization, one of which is our program management. And so we are going to be getting our RSVP list up on our website for Encourage and Empower Cohort 3. I believe, and I'm not looking at a calendar right now, I want to say, is it Monday the 3rd, April 3rd? Is that a Monday?
Yes, it is a Monday.
Okay. So I believe we were going to go from Monday, April 3rd through the end of May. May 29th was going to be the 8-week period, because we know once things start happening after Memorial Day here in the US and summer vacations, things get a little crazy. So we are going to try and capture all of April and May for our 8-week program. We're going to send out, because you guys are joining us today on this call, I will send out a link to you so you will have the first opportunities to RSVP. Like I mentioned, we are looking for that 8-week commitment on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we do cap it at, like 10 to 12 people per cohort, again, because we want that small, intimate experience. So I want to give you guys the benefit of showing up today, that we will give you the first opportunities to RSVP. And then, however, if something changes because life is crazy and you can no longer participate, please get in touch with Elisa, and I'll have all of her contact information for you, or actually any of us on the screen, Brenda, Carol, myself, Gloria, because we will maintain a wait list for people who can't get into that time slot. If it got filled up, we will maintain a wait list so that way we can help as many people as possible. So signing up, we're hoping you will commit, but we do understand that if something comes up, to just let us know and we will go to the next person on the waiting list.
Then this includes also the meditation part each Monday?
It does. And so the meditation part is not officially part of Encourage and Empower, but it's scheduled right before it. So you could do the meditation at 10 a.m. from 10 to 10:30, take a snack, take a break, and then come back at 11 for the 1 hour program for Encourage and Empower.
Okay.
So just another value add for those people who want to participate in that.
Okay, great. So it'll all be sent online.
It'll all be sent. Absolutely. So we'll get that out this week. We're really excited about it. I'm so thrilled that Gloria has offered to do a third cohort. And then after this cohort too, I think we're still planning on going back to, fall, one in the fall and maybe two in the spring moving forward as we think through 2023-24. And so we're really excited about this, and we're here to serve you guys. So any feedback, questions, comments, or things that we could do better or enhance and provide you with the resources, that's what my job is. And again, as Gloria keeps mentioning, it's a pleasure to serve this community. So thank you for taking the time, and we will talk soon.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Looking